the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. Hey, check out my new tag team, baby, Monty and the Pharaoh.
Hey, Jimmy, don't forget to tell them about Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast.
Well, you know what, I would, but you already did it.
You've got the future Hall of Famers, Out Rucker, Marty Jannetty, MJ in the house, and I'm sitting here with two more future Hall of Famers, Monty and the Pharaoh. We're doing that stuff and we gonna rock it.
Monty and the Pharaoh.
Monty and the Pharaoh.
Monty and the Pharaoh.
Monty and the Pharaoh.
Marty and the Pharaoh.
Monty and the Pharaoh.
And Monty and the Pharaoh. Oh, is it Monty and the Pharaoh?
Yeah. Monty and the Pharaoh.
Hey, cut music. When you want the best in professional wrestling, Long Island, there's only one place you're going to get it, right here.
Monty and the Pharaoh. Now, that's not just the coolest, and that's not just the best. That, my friends, is just incredible.
Monty and the Pharaoh. Duh.
I'm having one fun with Monty and the Pharaoh, and I'm going to put him in the crossface chicken, and he's going to go down right now. Yeah.
What Trump say? Fake news. Boston wrestling is fake news. Don't tell me what I can or can't do. Then he texts me. I tried to ignore him. I even blocked him on my phone. Didn't work. Now he's calling my buddy Larry Huntley with threats. He told me this, Marty, and I let Marty read it. If you mention my name just one time, I got the paperwork and I'm sending it into the IRS. Now what can the IRS do to me? They could take away my Social Security check. Would that make you happy? I've been homeless one time, brother. I lived in the street, slept on the park bench for a year and a half, ate out of dumpsters. I built myself back, not with your help, because what you pay me, I still be in dumpsters. Now, I got all the Boston wrestling fans to answer this question for me. It is 350 miles, 300 miles, for me to drive from Maine to the Monty and Pharaoh show. You understand? Then I got to drive another 300 miles back home. It's a 2-hour drive for me to go to Boston Wrestling. Now, why, Boston Wrestling fans, would Tony Atlas drive 7 hours, sometime 8, to get to Marty and the Pharaoh, but won't drive 1 hour or 2 hours to get to you? Why is that? If you took such good care of me, the reason is Marty take care of me. I work for you, I take my freaking wife out to dinner one night, then I'm broke. I work for you for a meal, man. You know I'm telling the truth. You know it, Dan. I don't lie. I got no reason to. If you think I'm lying, take me to court. Put your hand on that Bible and swear, oh, you know, when he told me I was lying about what he paid me, I told people what he paid me, but he had almost a year to show the fans what he paid me. He never did it. He just called me a liar.
How shocking. Okay.
Why don't he tell the people what he paid me? You tell them what you pay me, Dan. You tell them.
Tony, I would like to say my piece on this whole situation.
Of...
First of all, I'll say, Dan Marotti, shame on you, number one. But number two, here's the bigger problem of the issue. Tony wanted to separate the agreement. He took responsibility for his agreement.
Just go about my business.
Right.
But instead,
he won't let me go
keep
on.
the game going.
He don't want to let it go.
To me, there's a reason.
He just can't let it go.
To me, there's a reason. Because now you're taking the money out of your mouth, Dan. How does that feel? How does that feel?
One day you're going to be a senior citizen. You're going to be a senior citizen if you're lucky enough. And I hope some young punk like you will come and take your Social Security check, threaten you with the government. Just to make sure that I was not lying. I took your the one you sung, Larry Huntley, because I blocked you. I don't want to hear your crap no more. I got a wife in the hospital. I can't go around my wife upset and nervous. So then you went out to my friend, Larry Huntley. That had nothing to do with it. Nothing. All he did was try to help me to teach me how to use a computer. That's all Larry Huntley ever did. Then you started attacking him. Have I said anything about you, Dan, in the last 7 months compared to what you said about me? What have I said? I've been quiet for 7 months. Have you been quiet? Is that a lie too? You ask your wrestling fan, have you been talking about me in the last 7 months? Have I been talking about you in 7 months? No. Is that a lie too? Now you're lying to your fans because they know what you said.
That's right.
Everybody know what you did, Dan. It's all the fans out there, all the Boston wrestling fans. Are y'all all liars?
This is real people.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Ask the Boston wrestling fans, are they lying too? They hear him. They hear him every week. Don't they hear it? They deaf. Is the Boston wrestling fan deaf? How many times they hear me badmouth Dan? Name one other time other than today. Name one.
Right.
What in it for me?
Right.
What I'm getting out of this? I just want them to leave me the alone.
Imagine that.
Why is that so hard?
How about that?
Apparently
How about
it
just
is.
leave Tony alone? In
That's
fact,
it.
You wanna
I'll
try
even
that?
say this.
Could you try that?
Take Tony's videos off. Don't put
Take
them
my
on him.
videos
Don't
off.
promote
There
him.
you go.
Why you want a liar on your set? Why you want to promote a liar?
Yeah.
Why you playing my video? I'm a liar. So if I'm lying about this, then every damn thing I ever say on Boston Wrestling is a liar. What Trump say? Fake news. Boston Wrestling is fake news. Because everything that is said by Tony Atlas is a lie. Everything on Boston Wrestling Tony Atlas say is a liar. I'm a liar. Ask Dan. So why is Dan playing tapes of a liar? Don't make sense, doesn't it? It's kind of like you're taking a pedophile to a boys' camp. Why are you playing my tapes? Take me off of Boston Wrestling. Take me off. Fans, tell Dan to take that lying Tony Atlas off of Boston Wrestling. We were slaves for 350 years in this country. That's history. It's past, gone. A lot of people suffer in this country, not just black, but America went through that. We fought through that. We fixed it so every American is equal.
Are you being told what to say on these videos?
Oh, no. I'm a fucking senior citizen that's been to every state in the United States, been to every country in the world but China and Korea and Russia. And I need somebody to tell me what the to say. Now you're calling me dumb. Whoever say that, say I'm a dumb. It got to be some racist white boy to think of black people that way. Why? Because I'm black, I'm stupid, and don't know what I'm talking about. Somebody got to tell this old black boy what to do. I'm a 6'2", 265-pound black man that had lived more in 1 week than you had lived in your whole life. Because I'm black, somebody got to tell me what to say. I'm big and strong enough. I was the third strongest man in the world. I bench pressed 650 frickin' pounds. I bench pressed 400 pounds now, and I'm a senior citizen. And I got 22-inch fucking biceps. The only people that tell me what to do is God and my wife. So if Marty is coaching me, Dan coach me too, because I'm too stupid to talk. So I was stupid on Boston Wrestling too. Everything I say on Boston Wrestling, Dan told me. Because I was too stupid to think for myself because I'm a black man. Keep your racist to yourself. I'm old. I don't give a no more. I don't know if I'm going to live next week. Everybody that I wrestle with is dead. Don't you realize that? You give me what you give Marty Jannetty, I'll be back. I guarantee you. You give me that $1,200 you gave Marty Jannetty.
What? Yeah, it's a war. Can you get any more fucking honest?
You have to fly him in, and I want you to pay for my own damn hotel. I don't want to pay my own hotel no more. You treat me like you treat them white boys, I'll be back.
And the chicken sucks. You want better chicken.
See, a lot of guys, they felt they should make what Hogan made.
Right.
There was a lot of guys like that, you know, that really felt, you know, that would happen with me in One Man Game when he was, what that thing, One Man Game played?
Akeem?
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't want to work with me when I was doing Saba Simba.
Okay.
He wanted to work with Hogan.
Okay.
So all the heels wanted to work with Hogan so to make the big paycheck. You know, so there was a lot of guys in wrestling. There's a lot of jealous. See, when I first broke into business, the promoter taught me never tell what you make, cause it makes the other guys jealous. I mean, if I tell a guy I made $1,500 a night, this guy made $500, he pissed. Me and Hogan been friends from day one. We rode together in Georgia when it first started. In fact, me and Tommy Wildfire Rich went to Ole Anderson and told Ole, cause at that time I beat Dennis Condrey for the belt, and they had no big heels. All the heels were getting, the heels were getting smaller and smaller and smaller. They had no big heels. All the big heels had left and went to AWA or went to WWF or somewhere. So Georgia at that time, if you look at that period when I beat Dennis Condrey for the belt, they had no big heel. So when Hogan came in, Tommy Wildfire Rich said, "Boy, this is great. We should get shoot an angle with Tony Atlas and Hogan, this guy, because he's big enough to really get heat on me." Because I was in such good shape then. I was 286 pounds with a 4% body fat. So I was muscular, 286 pounds, and I was the biggest wrestler in the territory. Well, to be a babyface, you have to get the people's sympathy. So when I couldn't sell for nobody because it didn't look right. I was bigger than the guy, so it was kind of like Mark Henry wrestling Hogswallow or something, you know. And Mark Henry is flying all over the ring for Hogswallow. To the fan, that don't look right. So Tommy Rich tried to get Hogan, and then what Ole Anderson said, this guy will never draw any money in this business. Then my Ole Anderson exact words about Huck Hogan. This guy will never make anybody money in this business. Then one time I was going to wrestle him in Madison Square Garden. God rest his soul. I love him like a father. He treated me like a son. I'm not bad-mouthing him. I was going to wrestle Huck Hogan in the garden. Vince Sr. was running things then. Vince Jr. was an announcer. Vince Sr. said, "What you want to do with the big dummy?"
The big dummy?
They never got interested in Hogan. The people that made Huck Hogan was Sylvester Stallone. When Hogan got in that movie, that what did it. If you look back, I mean, every time Hogan wrestled me, he put me over. Hogan put me over every time I wrestled him. They wasn't pushing Hogan. They had no use for this guy, you know.
Interesting.
Yeah, think about it. Everybody beat Hogan until he got in that movie. Then he went back to AWA,
right, with Vern.
With Vern.
Yeah.
And Vern gave Hogan his first break. Vern Gagne gave Hogan his first break in this business. And then I was in the dressing room and said, we got to get him back. He's selling out everything in Minneapolis. He's selling everything out. Everywhere Hogan went out that movie was a sellout. Sellout.
Yeah.
Then they brought him back. And he sold out everything in the WWE. So everything that the WWE got, everything Triple H got, everything Vince McMahon got, everything John Cena got, everything Tony Atlas had, everything that all the wrestlers today got, they owe to Hulk Hogan. Hogan do not owe this business nothing. I was there, brother. I was there when it frickin' took off. I mean, I was working underneath, preliminary, making $8,000 a week. And I wasn't even one of the top guys. Hogan made so many people. Hogan built WWE. I don't give a crap what anybody say. They should treat that man with the utmost respect. There would be nobody could have done it but Hogan.
Can you tell the story about the time Harley Race almost bit your nipples off?
What?
True.
True?
True.
Would you put whipped cream and strawberries on them? Why would he want to bite your nipples off?
I got a hair up my butt.
You got what?
I got cocky in the ring.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
I want to show Harley how tough I was.
Oh, that was a mistake. What are you doing?
So I headlocked him and took him over. Harley said, loosen up.
Oh.
I said, I'll do what I want. Harley took and put my nipper in his mouth and ground it around like this in his teeth. He said, if I bite off your nipper, you can't win no more of them bodybuilding contests now, can't you? He said, if you don't straighten up out here, he said, I will bite off your nipper and knock your out. Now do what I tell you to do.
Wow.
I go, yes, sir, Mr. Race.
This is between headlocks, huh?
Well,
Wow.
I forgot who I was in the ring with.
Yeah, I think
got
so.
beside myself. I got cocky with Harley in the ring. And then he did a couple of things, took me down on the mat, put me where called a sugar hope, made me squirm like a little
puppy dog.
A little puppy dog.
Okay.
And then I came to my senses. I said, Tony, I don't care how many muscles you got. Harley Race is not somebody you need to mess with.
Hell yeah. What makes that in a man who doesn't look super jacked, but you better watch out for him?
He was raised in the streets.
Okay.
Raised up rough. He didn't come from a rich family. He was raised in the street. He was a street fighter.
Okay.
He was just rugged. Just a rugged man, you know. But the nicest person that you ever want to meet in your life.
Right.
But he was just somebody you just want to fight with. Just
Tony,
don't fight him. You all right with Harley. I was wrestling in Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. And they're going to have a big thing. They brought in Andre the Giant, Dusty Rhodes, Terry Funk, a bunch of big-name guys.
What a territory that
They
was.
all flew in.
Okay.
They all flew in, all got picked up at the airport, all got treated like kings. Moolah was the world woman champion.
Sure.
She drove
She drove.
and paid for her own room.
Who was her agent? Dan Marotti?
Let's
I had to.
bury him.
I had to. I'm sorry.
Come on,
I was
I'm feeling
all right,
good now.
Tony, I'll take you out.
I'm
This one's
feeling-
on me. It's
I'm
on
feeling
me.
good now. Don't, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you messed up a wet dream. But anyway, when a woman wrestler, there was novelty.
Right.
We
True.
didn't have to look at them every
True.
day.
That's very true back in the day.
They
Very
used
true.
them once, and then they left
were-
and went somewhere
They
else.
were almost treated the same way Sky Low and his boys were.
Exactly. The midgets were the same way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you go on any independent show, you see a bunch of guys. You don't see women wrestle. There were a lot of women is not working independent. Most women quit because they can't get booked. You go to any independent show, all the people out here know I'm telling the truth. Very rarely you see a woman wrestling
This is
match.
true. No,
the only
this
time
is
you
true.
see a woman wrestling match is on TV. I mean, I love the police. I'm a strong supporter of policemen. I don't believe in defunding the police. I don't believe in we doing nothing with the police. They got a very hard job. I know a lot of them. A lot of them are good friends. They work their ass off. They don't get no respect. If the black community would work with the police, things would improve in the black neighborhood. But when I grew up, if I worked with the police, I would call a stooge a sledge. This guy just killed my cousin, but I can't report it to the police because the neighborhood would look down on him. So most of the problem that's going on between policemen and black people is black people's fault. Work with the police. Police is not there to hurt black people. Well, why they shoot black people? Why he running? Why he resisting? I'm going to tell you why black people get shot by policemen. You create a dangerous environment. That cop know what's going on in that neighborhood. If you go swimming in a public swimming pool and people is splashing and making noise around you, you don't get nervous. Even though you're in the water, splashing going on, you hear noise, you don't get nervous because you're in a public swimming pool. That's your environment. But if you in the bayou in the swamp in Louisiana and something moving in that water, you're going to get nervous. Now, how you think for policemen to go into a neighborhood where a grandmother gets shot sitting in her house watching TV? Go into a neighborhood where everybody got guns Go into a neighborhood where 90% of black homicide is done by black people. Go into a neighborhood where 75% of black kids grow up without a father. 75% grow up without a father. Go into a neighborhood with a population that make up 12.9% of American population, but also make up 60% of penitentiary. Go into a neighborhood where black on black crime is the highest crime rate in America. How do you feel being a suburban policeman, being faced with that for the first time in your life? We live in America. I was riding with Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch, which all the rest I knew was a member of the KKK. But he was one of my best friends. How can you be friends with a Klansman? I say, every American is entitled, you are entitled as an American to your belief. That's why we fought for our freedom. Political correctness is for whites only. For whites only. Political correctness, which is wrong. If using the N-word, if you're going to crucify a white person for using the N-word, you should crucify a black person for using it too. If it's wrong, it's wrong. Two wrongs don't make a right. It's either wrong or it's right. You confusing the hell out of people. If a white person get in trouble for using the N-word, the black person get in trouble for it too. We have to make a law that fit all Americans, not just some. There's no Republican, no Democrats, no blacks, no white, no Oriental, no Spanish. We all should be Americans. And as an American, being a black American, I'm going to say what a lot of us old black Americans be wanting to say. Nobody could help the black neighborhood but the black man. I asked Murdoch, getting back to Murdoch, why would you call a full-grown black man a boy? He said, oh, that's simple, Tony. A boy don't have responsibility. 75% of black kids grow up without a father. I wrote a book, Too Much Too Soon. Before I was 12 years old, I've been in over 50 fistfights. Black kids have to protect themselves. Their mother's at work. So the only way for a black kid to protect himself, he got to get a Glock. He don't have a father. He can't depend on the police because he become a pariah in his neighborhood. So he don't have the police to protect him. He don't have a father, and his mother can't. That leave that kid, he said, I need protection. So he joined the gangs. So the gangs become the family. The street become his home. White people didn't cause that. Republicans didn't cause that. Democrats didn't cause that. America didn't cause that. It's boys in men's bodies. If you got a child and you're not responsible to help raise that child and teach that child and help that child to go in life, you're a boy. If you don't accept the responsibility of a man. Now, my daughter grew up without a father. I'll admit it. I'm not all that great and powerful. My daughter grew up without a father. But I tried to be there for her. Me and her got a good relationship now. I never left her. Me and her mom, we didn't get along, But I was always there for my daughter. Her name is Nikki. She lived in Opelika, Alabama. She forgave me, which I'm thank God, for my absence, but I was drugged out. But as soon as I came off the drug, my wife Monica, God bless her soul, she said, you need to resume your relationship and take responsibility to help raise your daughter. You can't walk away from your daughter the way your father walked away from you. My mother had 9 kids. My dad didn't do nothing for none of us. He was a boy. A boy do not have responsibility. The only thing that's going to help the black community, Al Sharpton, all the rest of y'all know this. Y'all know this. Y'all want to blame white people. They don't. I remember when I was a kid, I was going to work one day. A guy said, ain't no use going to work. The white man don't want you to go nowhere. My mom said, boy, don't listen to him. White people want all black men to go to work so they don't have to take care of them. Who's taking care of black kids? Middle class America. The guy would get him a young girl, impregnate her. Then he move in with her. The government pay for the apartment. The government pay for the food. So in most black families, at least 75% of it, 75%, a 1-year-old child is supporting the adults. Because without that kid, they can't make it. The kids are responsible for the grown-ups because the man won't work. People say, well, did Vince do this to you? What about Saba Simba? Was that racist? Was Vince racist? No, Vince ain't racist. Hulk Hogan ain't racist. No. He gave me an opportunity. I f***ed up. Vince had a talk. Vince and me are friends. I love him to death, like a brother. I love Vince. Love the whole McMahon family. They did nothing but help me. I've been hired and fired more times than any wrestler I've been there. Most times they got rid of somebody, they gone. Vince kept bringing me back. In fact, he just brought me back recently to do Legend House. Is I'm right or wrong?
Mm-hmm. That's right. Mm-hmm.
So Vince always had, even though he couldn't use me. Mm-hmm. When me and Mark Henry broke up, Vince could have carried me. Vince started saying, well, we got to find something for Tony to do. That sound like a racist dude? The man likes me. I like Vince. We know how we feel, but business is business. He got a business to run. You know, he can't sacrifice his business for his friend. Me and Vince are friends. He's a great guy. Vince McMahon and Hulk Hogan built that empire. I love Vince. And I would fight anybody that goes against him. Screw them. They don't know the man like I knew him. I've been knowing Vince since 1978, so I know him well good.